Chios in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up?
I'm Ossé.
I'm Zohran Mamdani,
And I represent New York City Council District 36. In this political moment, we need someone with the energy to stand up to Donald Trump, with an inspirational vision of the most our city can be. And that's why I'm endorsing Zohran Mamdani for mayor.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. It's beautiful out here.
It is nice. It's the weather's nice. Much better than New York, I feel like.
New York is like
I heard it's
90 degrees right now, sweaty as shit. But yeah, it's beautiful out here in LA.
Yeah.
First time in the studio.
Yeah, the stew.
The stew.
This is my base of operations.
I like the suit jacket you dressed up for me today.
Oh yeah, thank you. No, yeah. Exactly. I'm also wearing my merch as well. The new merch is going to be coming out soon, chat, which is I didn't even plan austerity abroad, austerity at home, and it's got the IMF logo, which ironically enough, we are experiencing the shock doctrine being implemented on American soil right now. I didn't actually like time the merchandise for that, but
this isn't live right now, right?
No, that's from earlier.
Yeah, terrible things happening in this country right now.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to be able to stop it at all. I had a little element of hope within me that
the Tea Party would do the right thing.
Maybe the Tea Party,
just like they did with Obama,
but they did not.
Yeah, I was in the car going, "Tea Party, save us! Tea Party, save us!" And then they didn't, and then they towed the line as always.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with some of the details of this?
I know that, I was following Senator Murphy's updates, and I know Bernie has been doing some decent updates too. I know 17 million Americans are going to lose their health care. I know they deeply stripped, clean water and clean energy, out of this bill, and also gave tax incentives to coal companies. I know that I read this statistic that the budget for ICE is like bigger than budgets for many militaries of different countries.
$175 billion.
It's so insane. And like, what are they getting with that money? Like with already how they're operating in terms of being this like Secret Service Gestapo type arm of the government. With that type of money, how are they going to operate? They're going to be disappearing people without, anyone noticing, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
As we've been reporting, President Trump toured a new immigrant detention facility today that he is calling Alligator Alcatraz. The name comes from the location in the Florida Everglades. The facility is surrounded by acres of swampland.
Because that's the largest hurdle to clear for this administration in terms of like all of the immigration enforcement activities was the logistics of it.
Yeah.
They don't have enough manpower. They don't have enough facilities. They don't have enough lawyers. They don't have enough judges to expedite these processes. Now they have that. Now they have that budget.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that this administration has utilized immigration enforcement to like basically take care of whatever they think is unfavorable. Yeah. Like they use immigration enforcement as a tool to shut people the fuck up about Israel.
Right.
Like, and even as an American citizen, I myself have like seen one much more limited experience of this, like with my detention at the border. But there are far more severe cases, far more consequential cases like Mahmoud Khalil, of course, Mohsen Mahdawi, things that are leading to some limited success in the courts. But this is precisely, this will expand.
Yeah. Like
this kind of repression is going to only expand from this point on.
I mean, even in terms of how ICE has been operating thus far during this year, right? You see them wearing like these bandanas and a lot of like plain clothes now.
Yeah.
There's going to be an extreme upgrade in terms of how they operate. This will be a full, Secret Service arm of Donald Trump that is going to get away with so much. That's one of the most shocking parts about it, right? It's not obviously like the tax incentives for billionaires is like fucking ridiculous. Millions of Americans losing money, but I think one of the aspects of this that is so dangerous is this is there going to be any checks and balances for what this new ICE is going to look like? Probably not. Is there going to be any oversight that Democrats are going to be able to put in place over Kristi Noem and how this is operated? Maybe a little bit, but we're not going to get any answers into what this money is going to be allocated for which is really, really scary. And this comes last week. I think the Supreme Court, we saw, sweeping decisions that the Supreme Court made about like denaturalization of, people who became American citizens. That coupled with this is going to set a really dangerous precedents for what's bound to happen in this country. It's scary times. And this is why, Democrats, and I don't know, I haven't been watching the stream today, but have you been covering how Dems have been responding to this?
A little bit. I mean, I try to stay away from showing Hakeem Jeffries on stream because like everyone gets too horny.
Right.
Like they're like, he's too hot. I can't pay attention. He's so
Is
dynamic.
that the response that's the response he gets?
No, people are always like, he's too sexy. My panties, I need new ones. I've already replaced them 3 times. Why is he so sick? Why is he like so cool and so hot in terms of like fighting against the Trump administration? That's what they're saying all the time. I'm overcome with desire.
Why are they being?
Yeah.
My constituents have a very similar feeling about Hakeem.
They get turned on too when they see him. Is that what it is? And then I can't even say Chuck Schumer. Like everyone starts going crazy.
Like they love Chuck. Chuck too.
Like,
what is going on?
It's like they throw their bras on stage.
No, Chuck has to go.
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
I think you understand that, right? I hope. My autism makes it hard for me to be sarcastic. I'm saying such insane
I actually
things.
really did believe you. I'm sorry, crazy. I did. I didn't know if there was like I know that's insulting, honestly, to the chat. But
you want some to drink? We got Dr. Pepper's.
Is Dr. Pepper off the BDS list?
It's not on the BDS list.
Okay.
Diet Dr. Pepper. 0 sugar cream
Diet
soda.
Coke is on the BDS the BDS list.
Yeah.
Just crazy. We need a Tea Party in the Democratic Party for sure. And I think now is like a really, I know that Dems are the minority right now, but in terms of how we communicate what is happening is the most important piece of this puzzle. We really need to win midterms next week.
They can't
next
even
year.
hear you now. They're horny. They're horny. This is the most horny they've ever been because I'm showing both Chuck and Hakeem. This is the face of dynamism. Okay, this is what a dynamic opposition party looks like.
I can't speak to. Chuck has lost a lot of love in New York, like even from like libs and folks in the center, but Hakeem still has like a in the district that he represents, we have some overlap. People love him. A lot of people do like him. I think there is a sizable amount of folks who have their issues, but older black folks in Bed-Stuy and Canarsie love him. Yeah,
I'm truly shocked. I'm more so shocked at Nancy Pelosi because Hakeem Jeffries was groomed by Nancy Pelosi to be this person, right? Like he's Nancy Pelosi's like hand-selected speaker. And it is actually surprising because like as much as I despise Nancy Pelosi, like he lacks everything that she had, whether it be whipping power or whether it be like, behind closed doors, a deal making. Like I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but I don't like her because of ideological differences, ideological disagreements. But like I would never, ball. But I would never say that she is not like a good politician. Like How do
you think she would be navigating this right now, though?
Oh, he comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my mom.
I would pay to see
that. I've been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
I think, given her age, she would have a very hard time. Even doing anything beyond what Hakeem Jeffries is doing.
Okay, so how about Nancy, hypothetically speaking, how about Nancy circa Trump's first term? How would she be navigating this right now?
I think that they would have, I think Nancy Pelosi, a younger Nancy Pelosi, would have went on national television, would have brought forward some of the best communicators in the party, on national television and rallied against some of the most damaging aspects of this bill for the month leading up to the bill. Yeah. The entire process of like going from the House of Representatives to the Senate and back to the House of Representatives again would have had as much like opposition messaging that they would try to dominate the conversation to the best of their ability, and make as many people recognize as possible that like this bill is devastating. Because guys, as much as I criticize the Democratic Party, like this is one of the areas where like the Republicans are definitely worse. Okay. And I think even like a competent Democrat would do more than what this current Democratic Party has done.
I think, and then I agree that right now Dems need to completely be in every single airwave describing this bill as the worst thing that this country has ever seen, as it being a tax cut for the rich, as it I loved how Bernie was talking about how, I think he said like 51,000 Americans are projected to die every year because of this bill. I think just dominating our airwaves and what we hear about this bill, and doing so, weeks in advance prior to it passing, today should have been the strategy.
Your phone is not in the shot.
Oh, my bad.
They can see it.
They can see text
and messages. Yeah, it's all good.
I'm not getting crazy texts, I don't think. I get texts from Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
Stop talking about me.
Yeah. I'm sexy. I'm hot. Tell Hasan wasn't being sarcastic.
Someone said that? I thought you were serious for a little bit.
That's crazy. You've watched enough of my content to know I'm being sarcastic.
But it's sometimes I think it's being in the studio, the sarcasm maybe
he's getting nudes from Chuck. That's what's going on right now.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I think they would have been more competent. Like another thing, I think Nancy Pelosi, old Nancy Pelosi, would have done what she did, done something similar to what she had done. Kaya, no, Kaya. Hold on, sorry, she's eating Fiona's food. You're so fat. Get over here. Come here, place. That's crazy.
Didn't you have a different dog before?
I had a pit bull back in the day.
Yeah.
His name was Fish. He passed away many years ago, though. Kaya, place. Okay, good girl. She doesn't eat her own food, but then she eats Fiona's food. It's crazy. Anyway, she is very fat.
Mad at you.
Oh yeah, she's mad. Look, she's giving me the side eye.
She's giving you a side eye just now.
Yeah, she's upset. So, like, she would do what she did with AOC. Like, AOC delivered a major blow to the Democratic establishment. And what did Nancy Pelosi do? He got her to play ball. Like, he immediately was like, all right, this is the new wave. I don't like it. And if I have any sort of impact in terms of like squashing any sort of like progressive momentum from happening, I will obviously lend my support like she did with Henry Cuellar. But once she was established as a Democratic Party representative, Nancy Pelosi did not shy away from even giving
uplifting her,
even giving cabinet positions to, or not cabinet positions, committee positions to like all of the young progressive Democrats.
My issue that I have with how Dems are responding to this ugly bill is like there's a lot of Democrats who seem powerless in responding to Trump right now, especially on the messaging front, but then are doing everything in their power to like not support Zohran as being the Democratic nominee for mayor, right? And I think we're seeing that dichotomy or that juxtaposition that we talk about all the time, as progressives or as the left in this country, where like centrist Dems are putting more effort in stopping progressives or leftists or democratic socialists than they are Republicans. And we're seeing that in real time with the lack of support that these Dems are giving Zohran when he is so clearly our Democratic nominee and is so clearly showing what the fight looks like against Donald Trump with the powers that we currently have. It's complete bullshit.
They're way stronger and they're way more militant to their left flank than they are to the Republicans.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating. And this is precisely what happened with Kamala Harris as well. It is what it is. Like, it's just, this is how the modern Democratic Party is. And I don't know how to get them to start playing ball. We need more Zohrans all around.
I think eventually they will coalesce. I think some are going to drag their feet a lot longer to get there. But I think uplifting people like Zohran is the way to go for us as Democrats, and showing how to change the narrative around this, and it's clearly getting under Trump's skin. You know what I mean? He's already calling for Zohran to be arrested.
Yeah, I'm already worried about that, because like yesterday's memes do turn into like policy. Like
what do you mean?
Andy Ogles came out with that insane statement. Initially being like Zohran should be deported,
and then it got to Trump, right?
And now Trump is talking about it, and now like the Homeland Security Council got together and we're looking at ways of like actually materializing what should have remained, what should have never even become a racist meme at all.
Right. I mean, I think at the same time that's happening, like Republicans are going to be racist pieces of shit all the time. But like at the same, when they're doing that, we need New York Democrats to defend Zohran in those efforts, right? If we're quiet about
Kirsten Gillibrand,
it's not just her either. You know what I mean? It's not just Kirsten, and she got a lot of heat, for sure, and I think she felt it. But there's a lot of others who are just like who are quiet about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to insult their donors.
It's so unacceptable. There was, I think it was.
I can't run against Richie Torres. I don't live in the Bronx.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh, there was the ICE arrest of professional Mexican boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in California after he fought. Yeah, after he fought Jake. I was going to say Jake Tapper.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Yeah, I think. But hold on.
Did he beat Jake Paul?
I don't know. Chi, can you move?
Can I move?
To
Richie Torres' district? No, I
mean, there's other people there that should be eyeballing that seat.
People are saying Michael Blake. I know Michael Blake.
Yeah,
Michael Blake lives in that district.
Yeah, Waleed Shahid actually.
Waleed
Shahid actually talked about this or tweeted about this. Hold on.
Shout out Waleed.
Yeah, Waleed talked about this this new analysis that came out on the CNN broadcast on Zohran Mamdani. The CNN coverage on Zohran Mamdani from 6:24 to 6:30. The overall mention of Israel and anti-Semitism is far higher than rent, housing, groceries, childcare, and transit, which are obviously the major reasons as to why he was able to get so many supporters to go out and engage in door knocking.
It's why so many people voted for him.
Yeah, so many people voted for him for that reason. Same on MSNBC again. Israel and anti-Semitism being like the number one thing that people are focusing on and mentioning. And it's really interesting because like the line of attack on Israel and anti-Semitism, in my opinion, and I said this even during the election cycle, like when it was when the primaries were happening. I said that this would be most likely beneficial to Zohran considering the Democratic Party's attitude towards Israel. Like constantly saying like he is anti-Israel, this is really anti-Semitic, did not actually hurt him. It probably helped him. Right now, in this day and age, I think Israel and coming out in opposition of Israel is a surefire way to show every single person that you are with it. Like you are uncorruptible as a force. And people are even cynically doing that. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is cynically doing that. Tucker Carlson is cynically doing that right now.
I think, go ahead.
No, go on.
I think, Zohran didn't make this race for mayor of New York City about Israel, right? That wasn't, I know he holds, very strong, justifiable politics around, Palestine, has been outspoken, everyone knows that, right? But he didn't make that a centerpiece to his campaign, right? He didn't even, when he came out of the gate, that wasn't something he was talking about. When he put out all those videos, when those door knockers knocked on doors, that wasn't a central component to his campaign. I think other people wanted to define his campaign as that. And I think New Yorkers just wanted to hear about who was going to make their city more affordable. Yeah. I said that, after that first debate, when they were asking all the candidates what country they would go to, and he was like, I'm going to stay in New York. That was the most like leftward version of Donald Trump ever, right?
Yeah.
He was like, America first, New York first. I'm going to dedicate my mayoralty to New York City, and people fuck with that, right? When they can't pay their rent, when they can't afford groceries. They really appreciate that. They don't want to hear about a foreign country, especially when war is looming. You know what I mean?
Especially, and the only time they do want to hear about the foreign country is when people say, why are our tax dollars going there instead of staying over here to fix the fucking roads?
Yeah.
And that is the most popular position.
Yeah.
So ironically enough, this constant media reformatting effort to try to whip people into shape on this issue is just basically a desperate way to cling on to the old ways of doing things. Because back in the day, if you said someone is anti-Semitic because of their opinions on Israel, that was it. You're done. Okay, no progressive would ever
even dare to or even dare to run for something like this. You know what I mean?
There was a Ryan Grimm post that I refer back to showcase the ways in which, I mean, it's going to be hard to find it. Maybe Chad can help me.
You searching for the tweet from 2014?
No. He showed a Facebook in order to showcase how much things have changed on the issue of Israel. It was considered a third rail when Jessica Ramos posted a Facebook post saying Palestine heart.
Smiley,
in July 2014, Jessica Ramos posted a simple message on Facebook as Israel invaded Gaza. Palestine heart. All hell broke loose. This was the local coverage of the scandal. Dem official expresses sympathy with Gaza.
Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah. That is how dramatically different the media environment was back then.
Yeah.
And look at it now, where it's there's a massive swing in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
As a direct consequence of how much violence people have seen.
Right. I mean, I think that a lot of people knew that over the last year, especially in this year's New York City mayoral race, that a lot of Democrats were shifting their views on Israel, on Palestine. But even with a lot of the ads that were being spent against Zohran, they weren't speaking about Israel or anti-Semitism, right? They were saying he wanted to defund the police, raise people's taxes. It's never necessarily always about.
Well, I think that's what Andrew Cuomo up on, because I think he genuinely thought that this would be these people. I think believe their own lies is what I mean. They truly think this will put an end to anyone's campaign. If you just imply someone is anti-Semitic because of their anti-Israel positions, then it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's done. You're cooked. Because why else would Andrew Cuomo spend so much time talking about this?
Yeah.
Ironically enough, you know who knows that Israel is not exactly the most popular thing to care about, nor is cynically claiming people are anti-Semitic? AIPAC. When AIPAC went after even Jamal Bowman and certainly with Cory Bush, when they dumped millions, tens of millions of dollars into those primary races, they never once actually mentioned Israel. They only talked about how little these guys were playing ball with the Democratic Party, knowing that the Democratic primary, voters would care about that more than anything else.
Yeah.
So even they understood that reality, and yet for some weird reason, Andrew Cuomo and the like did not, and it actually ended up harming his chances of winning.
Do you think any of the, and maybe it's too early to tell, but do you think any of the squad members or squad adjacent folks are under threat next year?
The squad members?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
You think Elon is she's good over there?
They have literally come after her every single year as viciously as they
Early.
possibly.
I think so, right?
Every single year they do this.
What do Dems do now after this big ugly budget?
Going back to the big ugly budget, I don't think the Democrats are going to do anything. I think that they are going to do everything in their power to sit idly by the side and hope that people will recognize that the Republicans are cruel on their own, and maybe they'll get a marginal victory.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. We need people to be. We need our Dems to be making so much noise right now on every single platform, channel, talk about how devastating this will be for future generations of Americans to come. But maybe they will, maybe they won't. You know, you think they will?
I dream of a future Democratic Party that is a real opposition party comprised of socialists, where like AOC is the centrist Democrat.
Yeah.
AOC is like the representative of like the establishment version of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And you have far more radical, outspoken leftist, socialist, trade unionists alike.
Yeah.
That are consistently fighting for bettering work conditions, giving, expanding the social safety nets that exist rather than allowing it to fall apart. But I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't seem like it at all.
I mean, but if people say that, right? And then like, look who we just elected as mayor of New York, right? Like if there has to be an appetite for that, at least a little appetite for that. And like, I think over these next couple of years when Zohran is our mayor and we see how he operates, leading the biggest city in this country, maybe that could yield to more people wanting to see leadership like that in federal positions. But maybe that's the optimist in me. But
the problem is I don't think they want to win, because if they did,
who wants to win?
I don't think the Democrats want to win.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, because if they did, they would at least be like doing things differently right now. If they did, they would be jumping on the Zohran bandwagon.
I think I disagree with you. I agree and disagree with you. I think some Democrats, maybe the majority of Democrats, don't want to win because they can't accept the views from someone like a Zohran because of whomever got them elected, right? But I think there's a large portion within our party that is filled with people who are excited about a Zohran, who are still excited about an AOC, who will take this opportunity as a chance to run for office themselves, and be able to beat the big money that is keeping in power the Dems that don't want to win.
I'll say it like this. I think the Democrats want to win, but they want to win on their own terms. And I think this past election cycle basically proved that point once again, where there is this 75-25 issue with Israel, and Kamala Harris did not separate herself from Joe Biden in any meaningful capacity.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris did not try to chart a new path, knowing full well that this new path would most likely help her out.
Yeah.
Like, I think when Democrats say, oh, we're fearful of speaking out against Israel because like our constituents are going to get mad, I don't think that was the case. I think that they wanted to try and win in the ways that they want to by like implementing the Chuck Schumer method of winning over voters in the white collar voters in the suburbs and losing out the blue collar voters in the process. Like that is how they wanted to win. And that was a failure. And now they're like, how do we get people back on board with our version of the Democratic Party, rather than how do we listen to the masses? Do we listen to the voters? And change our message and change our platform in its entirety.
We might have to force them to change then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we don't need to wait on their terms to create the change that we want to see in this country. I think we're seeing a lot of, and this is what we were seeing in New York, and I keep on bringing it back to our mayoral race. Like, that wasn't just like far left people who were voting for Zohran, right? This was like Park Slope moms, folks across the city, that don't traditionally vote for a Democratic Socialist, candidate for anything, who are pissed at Trump, who are pissed at the response that, traditional Democrats are giving to Trump. So they chose to go with something new and something exciting and something different, right? Yeah. And of course, New York City is different than many places in this country, but we do have a lot of liberals, you know what I mean, who do vote, like folks in Michigan and Wisconsin, who did end up voting for Zohran and are excited about Zohran and are like standing him, which is a great precedent for how things could potentially change. In other states.
I see the positives for sure. Yeah. I'm just
skeptical.
I am always going to be skeptical.
Of course,
until
me too.
Until proven otherwise.
I mean, I think this is what, and I think your skepticism is real because I think after AOC won, there was that huge element of hope that I'm sharing right now.
Yeah, with the Justice Democrats
and Dems responded negatively to that, right, and started creating this additional infrastructure not only to attack Republicans but to like fend off insurgent progressive candidates.
They did that, and then also another thing that they did, and they're trying to do that again right now, was, well, look at all the young moderate candidates that also won, and they tried to like present this like
Isaiah Martin.
Yeah, I think there was, then there's the CIA lady as well. I think that was another one.
Is that Slotkin?
No, Slotkin's this time around.
Okay.
What was it? What was the other one? Anyway, there's a bunch. There are a bunch of like moderate Dems that they try to prop up as like young. Oh yeah, Spamberger. That they tried to position Abigail Spamberger to position against the Justice Democrat wing, where they were like, no, you don't understand. Like we have young talent in the party that's like still in agreement with like the old ways of doing things, like third way neoliberalism.
But that's the whole point, though. I mean, did that work? Did that person get elected?
No, the people that had gotten elected, I'm saying that they presented as like a different vision.
Yeah, I know.
Who's this for? Says Ken Klippenstein. Hakeem Jeffries is the leader America deserves. It's for me. I'm horny for Hakeem. So that's what I want.
So is your chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're already seeing some budding examples of that. I threw out Isaiah Martin's name, right? I think I saw someone's like tweet. Someone tweeted right after Zohran won that was like, this is the pathway to win, having good social media. And like, that was just like their entire take of it, which is not the point, right? You can't be a moderate centrist Dem who's a corporate shill and have, social media of you like walking and talking at a fast pace with quick cuts and think that that's like the way to.
That was Harry Sasson. That's the one who said it.
Terrible take, right?
By the way, who's like, he has literally been doing the social media thing, but for the old decrepit institutional Democrats, and they all failed. So obviously, like Kamala Harris did the Brad Summers.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Like she had a social media.
It was a
team.
very online campaign, right?
She did a ton of social media.
Yeah.
Just like she had the money advantage.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
Yeah.
Because if the message is ass, then you can put it everywhere, but it doesn't change the reality that the message is still ass. Like people were not receiving that message positively.
I think it's like the message is ass, and then also like if you are a puppet to like the same very donors that are standing in the way of our lives getting better, I think people can read through that shit, right? Especially if you are taking this untraditional route into communicating with voters. I think people can easily see through that shit, right? Like you clearly can't say things like freeze the rent when you are like bought out by the real estate industry.
Lobby,
you know what I mean? You can't, talk against the genocide in Gaza if like AIPAC is funding your campaign. So like those issues that a lot of maybe this new wave of candidates are going to hold or not hold. Like you can't communicate that just through social media if you're not, if you can't stand on business because of those who are funding your campaigns.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to this demon.
Yeah, I didn't even watch this.
Me and my son hold each other accountable for watching porn. Yeah. Michael Johnson.
Deep in the weeds on the changes, and they wanted to fully understand what those amendments were and how they would interact.
If you're closeted gay and Republican, you're evil.
Wait, you think he's a?
You don't think so? I have
I
have a gay vibe from him.
I feel like
him.
No, I think. Lindsey Graham's the obvious one.
Lindsey Graham, Michael.
Wait, who else?
I don't think I should say that.
No, say it.
I don't think I should. I think Mike Lawler is a hidden gay man too.
Mike Lawler. Okay.
I just think his like I think I said this on the stream last time, but the way he dressed in black, the way he dressed in blackface as Michael Jackson was like
the one black dude who didn't have to dress in blackface for.
But it was I swear, look up that picture of Mike Lawler in blackface on the New York Times. It's the fruitiest picture you've ever seen of someone in your life. But that's my only take
he is
on it.
Josh Hawley is another one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Josh Hawley kiss his wife?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. I have to show
Is that
this.
up to say? I think there's like, well, I don't know if you're able to, maybe I can say that. Is it fair to say that if you're closeted and gay, then you end up, you know, especially in this day and age, as a Republican, you end up doing some really cruel shit to other people because you're afraid of being yourself or can't be? That's crazy. That's crazy.
This is a gay man.
That's crazy.
Sorry. There is no, like, he has sheer disgust kissing his wife.
Not only is this like a crazy picture because of that, but I've never seen two people with no lips kissing each other.
Yeah. No, he kisses his wife like he's in a K-drama. Okay. This is like no shot.
That's
shot.
Crazy.
He also is the most in shape man in the state of
Really?
Missouri.
I think that's a sign.
That's a
gay sign.
There's a photo. When I think of like Josh Hawley being a gay man, I think of like him with
Someone said that's ableism.
With his pecs at Whole Foods in the middle of the day purchasing wine.
Josh Hawley?
Yeah. No, he
wow.
is like he was caught like at Whole Foods like buying wine or something.
Really?
Like someone took a photo of him, and I was like, that's a gay guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like he is in
it's sad. I mean,
remarkable shape.
I bet if they were out, then they wouldn't be Republicans or wouldn't be evil, maybe,
like,
right?
Come on.
Yeah.
This photo of Josh Hawley wine shopping at 2:30 on a work day pretty much sums up everything on this one.
Yeah.
Look at his pecs.
He's getting the Josh wine.
Look at his pecs.
Yeah.
No one in Missouri has this body fat percentage. Okay, get the out of here.
Maybe I don't. Yeah, he wasn't on my gaydar.
No, he's.
Really?
I mean, come on.
Really?
These two images is all you need to know.
Isn't there that? Who's that guy? Is Brian Johnson? Who's that? He's like a Republican.
Florida?
No. He's not an elected official. He's that. Maybe I'm getting the name wrong. He's that Republican.
Byron Donalds is the Florida representative.
He's like a right wing Twitch streamer or maybe like Twitter
Benny
guy.
Johnson?
Benny Johnson.
Oh, Benny Johnson's
like,
gay. Yeah. Benny Johnson. I know for a fact his wife doesn't allow him to go.
Oh, he has a wife.
He is a.
The Republicans call him gay, right? Like,
Benny Johnson is not allowed to go on work trips without his wife anymore.
Really?
I wonder why.
Wow. She doesn't let him, or like his agency doesn't let him? Okay.
She doesn't let him.
Oh my God.
She does not let Benny Johnson. Remember when he he has a lavender marriage. Remember when he was posting about
where AOC is from?
No. He was posting about like how there's like all these gay cruise asses on the ads on the military website, like military.com. And it was like,
bro, those are your targeted ads.
Yeah. What is this? He was doing the onion meme of like, why are all these gay guys sucking my dick everywhere I go? Him and the Casey kicker who said women should stay in the kitchen of the graduation speech look like a gay wedding announcement. Oh, this is This was. There's also a photo of him looking at Harrison Buttkiss.
Harrison Buttkiss?
Yeah,
who's that?
His name is Harrison Butt something, but Harrison Butker. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like
there's a photo
Midwestern gay couple.
There is a photo of Josh Hawley staring at Harrison, like, and I've never seen him show that kind of emotion towards his wife ever.
Okay, go back to the Mike Johnson clip. I interrupted you and we went
on a
Gayspecting.
No, so what I was gonna say is like you have the obvious like clearly in the closet gay men in the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have like a different type of sociopath where I think like Mike Johnson fits the second category.
Mm-hmm.
Like to the Steven Crowders of the world who are closeted, there's always like a Matt Walsh who is just like a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mike Johnson is like, I think he's just like a straightforward, only have sex to reproduce. Like, you know, God is great. God is my moral compass or whatever. Republican God, Republican Jesus is my moral compass.
Ugh.
Like, I could see him like whipping himself at the end of the day for like doing something sacrilegious.
But why? It's so crazy. Like, he has black kids, right? Mike Johnson has black kids.
What?
Like adopted black kids, just like Amy Coney Barrett.
Wait, what?
I think from like...
Just like Laura Ingraham has adopted Guatemalan children. Yeah, or El Salvador.
I think he has black kids. Him and Amy Coney Barrett.
Yo, the Jesus. Oh my God. Speaker Mike Johnson explained why his adopted black son is not involved in his
I think
no,
he's like
I did
Haitian
not
or
know.
something.
What?
I could be wrong on that, but
Johnson and his wife took custody of a black teenager named Michael 24 years ago and raised him as their son. However, others raised questions when it became apparent that Michael was absent from Johnson's public life, including his absence from Johnson's family portrait.
Like, you can't run for office with a black son.
What? Johnson's communications director, Karine Day, explained
Someone
Michael's
said
absence.
The Blind Side. That's crazy.
When Speaker Johnson first ran for Congress in 2016.
That's like Jordan Peele's The Blind Side. Like, that's his adaptation of it.
At the time of the Speaker's election to Congress, Michael was an adult with a family of his own. He asked not to be involved in their new public life. The Speaker has respected that sentiment throughout his career and maintains a close relationship with Michael to this day.
You didn't know this? This is like the first thing I learned about him when he became Speaker.
Bro.
Yeah.
What the
While testifying against reparations for slavery in front of the House committee, Johnson said that he understood. Scroll down a little bit. Maybe he spoke about it.
Discrimination because of his experiences with Michael. While testifying against reparations for slavery.
Yeah, this is Jordan Peele's remake of The Blind Side, Mike Johnson and Michael.
Dude, there's something really freaky about like a lot of these openly racist white nationalist Christians that go and like adopt black and brown children.
Yeah.
What is that?
Amy Coney Barrett has like 4 black kids, right?
Yeah, I know she had like I knew that she has like a bunch of adopted children and some of them are black. I didn't know exactly the number, but there is something like
I don't know if it's 4, but
what is it? What I think it
definitely has to be like a deeply rooted in like slave. It's like legal slavery. I don't know. I can't speak to these kids' experiences. Maybe they love their parents.
But I just like I don't
white saviorism is definitely like a part of it.
I just don't understand how they like become so overtly racist or were overtly racist and then they did that. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like they gave him like a get out of racist free card. Like I can't be racist. I have a black son.
That's too much investment for just like one talking.
And they don't care that they don't care that they're called racist either, right? They're still called racist.
I don't think they give a shit. They're like, hell yeah, I'm racist.
Maybe they were once. I don't know. You think that maybe they were once good people and then became racist as they progressed?
No.
OG racist from the get go.
I mean, he's
Louisiana. Yeah. There's no faking that.
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I don't understand it. It just like weirds me out. Because like if they weren't, obviously if they were like granola ass, like, Portland liberals or something, and they adopted like a black kid, I'd be like, that's still, there's still some going on there, but like that makes more sense.
Right. You still have the Black Lives Matter sign in your window. You know what I mean?
Like these guys are literally
the Confederate flag is not on the lawn, you know?
Yeah, that makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
I know.
He was 25 when he adopted his black teenager son. I mean, still. Yeah.
Wait, Mike Johnson was 25?
Mike Johnson was 25. His son was 14 when they adopted him.
What?
Which, makes it even wilder, I think. This is the Butker picture. Oh, no, this is not even the one I was thinking of.
Wow, there's many pictures of them.
There are more.
Wait, who is Butker? He's a football player?
He's the kicker for, I guess, what was it? The Kansas City.
Butt kicker. Okay.
Right? He was like, he became famous in the
dipping his toe into politics or something.
Well, no, he became famous because he was like he delivered a speech. I forget where, but he was like saying how, all you ladies that are graduating from college today, like you should be good wives to your husbands.
Oh my God.
Like it was, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. This is the one. This is what I was thinking of.
That's crazy.
There's love. There's lust in his eyes.
Yeah.
There's love and lust. Anyway, we have strayed away.
I know. I'm so sorry. There's so much happening today.
Yeah.
I knew as the leader that we would have to take the time to do that, and so some of that went into late into the night. And I was not going to make anybody. I was not going to demand anybody's vote or their position on the bill until they felt that they had exhausted that opportunity. So we did it, and that's how we got everybody yes.
Oh, yeah. They can see that too?
Probably. You see a camera. I'm just making sure you don't leak anything.
No, I mean, look, as I said, a lot of these members wanted to talk with the administration about how the new law would be administered by the Trump administration and the team. And I think they answered those questions. I don't think they exacted a lot of specific commitments or concessions or anything like that. It was just more an understanding how that would interact.
How do you think
as you know, this president has been a bold leader. By
money. I think that it's nihilism.
Yeah.
Like
the world's
money,
going to end anyways. Yeah.
Power. But it's definitely nihilism. Like I think about Clarence Thomas a lot and like his evolution.
Yeah.
And I think he's like a really glaringly obvious case of that because he's a black man who grew up in an even more racist past. And I think in that process, he just realized at a certain point where he was like, no, I want to make money for myself.
Yeah.
And I don't care who suffers as a direct consequence of my decisions. And I guess he also got one-shotted by what's his face, Thomas Sowell. Like he read one Thomas Sowell book and he was like, wow, this is amazing. But he was always like, I think he was like initially a black nationalist, and then he like moved into this weird place where he still has some of that mentality, but also is like deeply white supremacist at the same time as well. I think it's just like throughout his career, he just got increasingly more jaded and realized like there is no fixing this process.
Right. So I might as well be a winner in this process and get something out of it. It's fucked up. This guy's a
At last count, he's issued over maybe close to 160 executive orders so far. We're trying to codify as many of those as possible. So a lot of the discussions were about what executive orders will be forthcoming as it relates to the new legislation, and how can we be involved as a House to codify that and do all that in a coordinated
Mike
fashion.
Johnson,
the beauty of unified government
around Louisiana is that he used to frequent a gay bar in Shreveport called Central Station. They're gay-vestigating Mike Johnson.
Damn. You got shooters out there, huh? That's cool. I mean, you know what? Yeah, he does give off Rick Perry vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Who is another person that I think is gay.
Is on that list. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. Just be a queen. Just be a queen. Don't be evil. It's so easy.
I can see that. Yeah, dude, he's on Grindr. It is known. There's also...
Do you believe that?
I don't know about that, but... No, but there is that element of like... like I guess like the element of repression that he is like open about, because like he's the type of guy who says like I have like he has openly revealed that him and his son have a porn app that they both use to keep each other accountable to not watch porn. And I feel like if you have this like if you're open about something like this, that means like you're looking at some stuff that you consider as like gross.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You consider as like indecent.
Yeah.
And maybe it's gay stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Ironically enough,
did they ban porn yet?
I mean, they're working on it.
I think the Supreme Court did that. You have to show your age.
Yeah, they're working on it. Every state is like going through that process right now.
That's next. Yeah. Then we'll see some change in this country. The streets will be filled with people.
I don't think so. I don't think these guys are. I don't think anything's gonna move Americans.
Really?
Yeah.
Exactly how it can work and how it's supposed to work is that you have an interaction between the executive and the legislative branches, because that's what's best for the people, and that coordination is going to yield great results for the folks. So that was part of the discussion yesterday.
Last question.
Better start voting.
I literally don't know anything about that. I mean, I wasn't privy to the conversation. So I would tell you there's lots of rumor and conjecture and innuendo that floats around, especially when you got so many people wandering around the building.
Congressman that sold stock right before the vote.
Yeah. He sold a Medicaid processor. Stock, right? Yeah. Like a Medicaid marketplace manager stock.
That's illegal, right? That's illegal?
Nothing is illegal.
Yeah, that's true.
What is the SEC going to do? The SEC has become even more toothless under the Trump reign. They're not going to do anything. If you're a congressperson, if you're a politician, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't even think that people will hold them accountable. Most people just won't even. Yeah. Most people won't even pay attention to that kind of stuff at this point.
I don't know if have you gamed this out on. I don't know if you've done this on the stream, but I know that Trump is seizing power everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. We believe that he's going to attempt to do some type of third term type shit, right?
Oh yeah.
What are you doing in that situation?
I don't know.
You getting out of here?
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna take it one step at a time. I don't think I'll be getting out of here necessarily. Yeah. Although people do keep telling me to get the fuck out early, but I feel like I'm too stubborn.
Yeah.
To jump ship.
You would fight like for your country back?
I think so.
You think so?
I mean, yeah, I think who knows? Who knows what happens? We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that I don't think that I think it's very likely that there might not be another general election, at least in the time frame that is supposed to happen.
It's crazy. Especially with this new, I mean, like, are we at risk with this new ICE? This ICE with all this money? Like, are we targets on their list?
Oh, for sure. But I know that, like, as someone who has like some semblance, like a lot of financial security, as someone with a big platform, and as someone who is a natural born U.S. citizen, I'm like last on the pile.
Totally.
Like there are a bunch of other people that the Trump administration will go through before they arrive at people like myself, I think.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm trying to stop it to the best of my ability with the limited, the limited capacity that I have as an American citizen with a platform. But before they get to someone like myself, I think they would go after first citizens that have been naturalized in the last like 5 to 10 years, and then they will move on to. This is what like the denaturalization process will look like by my estimations. Like they'll go after criminals, and then decide what is a criminal and what is not. Try to erode due process to the best of their ability. Oops, some people got arrested. How else are you going to deport 20 million people? We have to. We can't do due process any longer. Don't be ridiculous. And then eventually they'll move on to like natural born U.S. citizens, but it's like last on the line, I think. But we'll see. I mean, they sometimes do have a tendency to jump over more permissible targets, more vulnerable targets, like they did with Mahmoud Khalil. Like Mahmoud Khalil as a green card holder with an American wife and a child on the way was not the best target to go after.
Right. But isn't there power somewhere within our judicial system that shows that, Mahmoud Khalil, as much as he had, a newborn child on the way, like if they really wanted to make a point with him, then they really tried to, right? The fact that he was freed is a chink in their armor in one way, shape, or form, is it not?
Yeah, I still at this point, but look at what the Supreme Court is doing. You know what I mean? Like they're very clearly playing ball with the administration in ways that you wouldn't even expect. So who knows where that goes?
Yeah.
Like I think, I mean, they already gutted the power that the lower courts have in terms of doing nationwide injunctions.
Yeah.
So I think that they're gearing up for either no repercussions whatsoever, or even if Democrats were to win somehow in the future, that they wouldn't use the new additional clearance that they have to push for whatever agenda they're pushing for.
Yeah.
You're not priority right now, but you're 1,000% on the list. It almost feels like you're an example he's thinking of when he says people who hate our country, even though that's just Israel anchor baby. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm on some list for sure, but you know, I'm not. Yeah, that's not going to stop me.
Yeah.
deliberating
I
over
gotta
their
bring-
vote. So
I
I
gotta
don't know how
you
much
can go
stock
in
I'd
the
put
board.
into
Okay, yeah,
much
yeah.
of that. But all right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
Bye, chat.